S is for silence that lulls you to sleep. The hallway stretched ahead, its length seemingly endless, swallowed in an eerie darkness. The air held a chill that clung to the skin, just long enough to know it was there, then let go and disappeared. A faint glow emanated from the dull and dim lights suspended on the ceiling, casting feeble rays of illumination that battled against the encroaching shadows. Their pale, flickering glow created an impressive dance of light and dark, and it's thanks to that I stayed awake. Feeling my vision fading gradually, I reached out my right hand and pressed it against the wall. My hand glided on the many textured surfaces of containers, bins to be more specific, clear plastic bins that still refused to show their contents. On the left and right walls of the hallway were bookshelves filled with the containers, and I knew that the shelves would never end. They never did. I abruptly stopped, feeling annoyed at having done so, knelt down, and stared at container 7784H. Without a moment of hesitation, I slid the container out into the open and snatched a file. My 67th assignment, I mumbled, and was surprised to hear my old but strong-sounding voice. I wasn't supposed to talk. Glancing to my left and right, I quickly opened it up and started what I had done so many times. It was time to review and report. Even after all the time that's passed, I can still remember what happened. I woke up in the backseat of my mom's car, rubbing my eyes to shake off the vivid dream that lingered in my mind. It was a dream about a strange, glowing ball of light, captivating and elusive. I honestly couldn't tell you more about it since that's all I can remember. Rays of soft daylight streamed through the car windows as my mom, with her dark hair neatly braided and her eyes narrowed with intelligence, turned to me and said, "We're almost at your grandparents' house, Taro." A surge of excitement filled me. I always look forward to visiting my grandparents, despite my mom's warnings about their peculiarities. "They can be a bit odd, Taro," she would caution, her voice tinged with concern. "Try not to pay too much attention to their stories." "But Mom," I would respond, a mischievous glint in my eyes, "I really enjoy their strange tales. They're so fascinating." As we continued our journey, the scenery outside underwent a transformation. The number of cars dwindled, making way for the lush forest that enveloped us, its vibrant greenery captivating my senses. Nature seemed to reclaim its domination, beckoning us deeper into its embrace. Finally, we arrived at the secluded house, a sanctuary nestled amidst towering trees. My mom parked the car in the familiar driveway, and we stepped out into the crisp air, tinged with the scent of earth and foliage. Mom pressed the doorbell, and anticipation filled the moments that stretched into what felt like an eternity. Finally, the door creaked open, revealing my grandpa. Despite his age, he exuded a quiet strength, his dark hair resembling my mom's. Standing beside him was my grandma, her short gray hair framing her face, her eyes reflecting my mom's discernment. "Come in, dears." My grandma greeted us warmly, her voice radiating genuine affection. "I'm boiling water for tea, and there are brownies in the oven." We settled into the cozy living room, adorned with cherished memories and family heirlooms. As I looked around, I couldn't help but notice the subtle tension between my mom and grandpa. Their guarded glances and cautious exchanges spoke of unresolved emotions simmering beneath the surface. My grandpa's eyes twinkled mischievously as he launched into one of his tales of giants who once roamed the lands and dragons that soared through the skies. His words painted vivid images in my mind, igniting my imagination with wonder and awe. However, my mom remained skeptical, her eyes narrowing with doubt and frustration. Dad, please refrain from filling his head with your fanciful stories. He needs to learn to separate fact from fiction, she would say, her voice laced with concern. A disheartened expression crossed my grandpa's face, and his voice carried a tinge of disappointment. But dear, there's no harm in letting him believe in a little magic. It sparks his curiosity, his sense of wonder. A heated debate ensued, their words clashing the air, leaving me torn. While I found solace and joy in my grandparents' stories, my mom's concerns were valid. Amidst the escalating tension, my grandma sat silently, her gaze fixated on me. When the storm of arguments subsided, she leaned closer, her voice gentle yet resolute. Taro, if you're patient and observant, you might just catch a glimpse of something extraordinary. There are mysteries in this world that defy explanation. An eager anticipation welled up within me as I absorbed her words. Could it be that my grandpa's tales held a kernel of truth? I glanced at my mom, who shook her head with a mixture of skepticism and resignation. Yet I couldn't suppress the curiosity that bubbled inside me. One day, driven by an unyielding curiosity, I ventured into the surrounding forest without notifying anyone. It might have been a bad idea, but it didn't seem like that to me at the time. The path ahead was dabbled with sunlight, casting enchanting patterns on the forest floor. At first, the world remained as I knew it, a realm of chirping birds and rustling leaves. But as I delved deeper into the heart of the woods, a sense of anticipation tinged the air. And then, amidst the darker recesses of the forest, a dim light beckoned me. It flickered like a distant star, its glow captivating and elusive. I approached cautiously, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Hello? I called out, my voice carrying a blend of wonder and uncertainty. The light hovered in the distance, unresponsive to my presence. It seemed to tease and dance, drawing me closer and closer. With each step, I dared to believe that I was on the cusp of something magical. Yet just as I neared, it vanished, leaving me in awe and longing for more. Rushing back to the house, I couldn't contain my exhilaration. I burst through the door, my words tumbling out in a breathless stream. I regaled my mom and grandparents with every detail, their reactions reflecting their contrasting beliefs. While my mom dismissed it as a figment of my imagination, my grandparents exchanged knowing glances. Taro, my grandma said, her voice soft and reassuring, we believe you. There are realms beyond our understanding where enchantment thrives. Though my mom's skepticism remained steadfast, her certainty wavered. The rest of the day blurred by, leaving me with a lingering doubt. Had my encounter truly been magical, or had my imagination played tricks on me? Nightfall arrived, casting a blanket of darkness over the land. I lay awake in the guest room, the tapping against the window stirring me from my troubled thoughts. I turned to face the source of the sound, expecting nothing but silence. Yet, this time, something was different. All I can say is, the experience was incredible. A mesmerizing light emerged from the velvety blackness, its ethereal glow illuminating the night. It danced and swayed, taking on the form of a humanoid being, a creature devoid of eyes, with wings that shimmered like translucent orbs. Of course, it was way smaller than my hand, so don't go thinking that it was an actual person. But I could still see how similar it was to human beings. A mixture of fear and fascination coursed through my veins as its gaze met mine. There was an unspoken connection, as if it recognized me. Could it have been from No way. Could it really have been from the time before? The light grew brighter, intensifying until it enveloped me completely. In that blinding brilliance, my senses were overwhelmed and darkness consumed my consciousness. When I regained awareness, the morning sun bathed the world in warm hues. My mom and grandparents rushed outside, their voices a blend of concern and relief. They embraced me tightly, their worry dissolving in the face of my return. "You've been missing for 2 days, Taro," my mom exclaimed, her voice a mixture of relief and disbelief. Overwhelmed by the experience, I recounted the events that had transpired, my voice filled with conviction. Though initially skeptical, my mom couldn't ignore the eagerness in my eyes. It was my grandparents who reaffirmed my tale, standing by my side, their unwavering belief a testament to the unexplained wonders of the world. "Perhaps, Taro, you truly did encounter one of the mischievous fairies that dwell in the woods," my grandpa mused, a knowing smile gracing his lips. With bittersweet farewells, my mom and I returned home, leaving behind the sanctuary of my grandparents' abode. Yet the memories of that extraordinary encounter remain etched in my heart. I gazed out of the car's rear window, catching a fleeting glimpse of a delicate figure, a radiant fairy, floating behind my grandparents as they waved goodbye with genuine affection. And in that moment, I knew that some mysteries were meant to be cherished, even if they defied logic and reason. For within the realm of it, the boundaries of reality blurred, and the extraordinary became possible. And it really was extraordinary. That whole experience really did change me, because now I was open to believe many things that I had wondered about. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you don't really believe that it's just a story, because one day you might have the same experience I had. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to our story. If you're really interested in listening to more of these, you can consider subscribing so that you can always listen to any of the future content that we'll be making. And hopefully you enjoy the story. Well, see you on the flip side.